Lion's Notebook, December 9th, 2009. The disappearance of Susan Powell. This story haunts me, and something smells fishy. Picture this. A young mother vanishes without a trace, leaving a trail of eerie clues and unsettling questions. I'm here to piece together the puzzle of Susan Powell's disappearance, a case that's baffled investigators and haunted everyone who's followed it. Stick with me as we uncover the chilling details. West Valley City, Utah. Susan Powell, a vibrant young mother, seemed to have it all. A family, 2 beautiful boys, and a life full of promise. But as I dug deeper into her story, I found cracks in the picture-perfect facade. Her marriage to Joshua Powell was far from ideal. Witnesses described him as controlling and detached, more focused on his own needs than those of his family. Susan was trying to make it work. But then, in December 2009, everything changed. Her disappearance marked the beginning of a dark and twisted investigation. December 7th, 2009. A regular day turned into a nightmare. Susan didn't show up for work, and her friends and family couldn't reach her. Joshua and their 2 sons were also missing. Hours later, Joshua returned home with the boys but without Susan. His explanation: he had taken them on a spontaneous midnight camping trip in freezing temperatures, a detail that didn't sit right with anyone. Why would a father drag his kids into the wilderness in sub-zero weather? The story was suspicious, and it set off alarm bells. The hunt for Susan had begun. As I combed through the evidence, the picture of Joshua Powell's behavior grew darker. Friends revealed troubling patterns. Joshua was possessive, isolated Susan, and controlled their finances. Then there was Susan's own voice, a written will she left behind, outlining fears for her safety. She'd written, "If something happens to me, it may not be an accident." Those words sent chills down my spine. The police searched the Powell home. They found Susan's blood on a carpet and a handwritten letter from her. A haunting piece of evidence that painted a grim picture. Still, the most disturbing discoveries were yet to come. During my investigation, another suspect came into focus. Stephen Powell, Joshua's father. Stephen's obsession with Susan was nothing short of sinister. He'd secretly recorded her, stolen personal items, and kept extensive journals detailing his disturbing fixation. Was Stephen merely an accomplice, or did he play a bigger role in Susan's disappearance? The connections between father and son hinted at a conspiracy that raised more questions than answers. As the investigation dragged on, hope for Susan's return began to fade. But the case took an even darker turn in 2012. During a supervised visitation with his sons, Joshua locked the social worker outside his home. Then, in a horrifying act of desperation, he set the house ablaze.
He blew up the house and the kids. He didn't ever leave the house. He just opened the door. The kids were one step ahead of me. They're 5 and 7. They were one step ahead of me, and he slammed the door in my face.
Himself and his 2 sons. The brutality of this act left everyone reeling. Susan's story isn't just about tragedy. It's a stark reminder of the dangers lurking behind closed doors. Her family's fight for justice and their advocacy for domestic violence awareness ensure that her voice will never be silenced. Susan Powell's legacy stands as a testament to resilience, love, and the unrelenting pursuit of the truth.